How's it going, everybody? This is Rob of Novakast, back with another podcast and having a brain fart. Okay, so we have a few things we wanted to discuss. One in particular, the Chris Hansen interview. I was going to do a video on it, but I figured it would be better if we had a group discussion on what's going on, or at least what was talked about. Which I gotta say, this interview for last Wednesday was intriguing, to say the least. Also, actually, since we're talking about that, I want to make a quick, or bring something up quickly. So for those who don't know, prior to Chris Hansen starting his stream, a certain streamer that we know by the name of, and I'm going to use the pet name that we've picked out for him, TMZ Smeagol, was doing a stream with somebody, and he was once again complaining about how he wants to, be the big guy who, is on the case when it comes to Greg. And one of his biggest complaints is that Chris Hansen apparently uses the same people for his streams, which if he would have paid attention to the last stream, I mean, not the one we're talking about, he had the psychiatrist on. And then this time, yes, he had Stevie Wolf back for this particular interview, but he also had somebody by the name of, I believe, Jimmy Snow, if I remember the name correctly, who apparently deals or discusses things of cult-like in nature. So, which I will say added on to this particular stream. And Phayn Aiden just showed up, so here we go. Okay, yeah, so Legendary 00 or 11 or not 117, 007 actually corrected me. It is Jimmy Snow or Mr. Atheist, which I loved his his description or how he got his name for his channel. So, but he complained about that. And it was just intriguing that he wants to complain about people, using the same people for interviews, using the same content when he himself has done the exact same thing for the past stream where he has talked about Chris Hansen. And one of his biggest complaints, and tell me if I'm not wrong, Aiden, about TMZ Smeagol. He complains about how you have to have evidence that Chris Hansen has nothing, that when it comes to I'm trying to understand what his argument is about. Oh, we don't have evidence, so we shouldn't be immediately assuming. It's like, yes, we already know that. Right now, the FBI is trying to get the evidence for, or at least to go against Greg. Correct?
I honestly wouldn't know. I don't watch Keemstar very often, if at all.
I'm not talking about Keemstar.
Oh, my bad.
Smeagol. TMZ Smeagol. Great. Crap, I'm breaking my own rule. Craig.
I honestly don't know. I haven't watched any of his stuff.
Okay. Just so you guys know, when we said we disassociate from him, we really disassociate from that guy.
Oh.
And it's a good thing we don't have Magi on right now, because he'd probably give his opinion on that. 007. Can I just call you 007? Just for short. He wrote, I'm going to put his thing on there. TMZ Smeagol repeats the silly accusations that because the image of Sarah's blooper was mirrored reverse, it suggests she recorded that blooper long after her brainwash POW video defending Kai. I feel like with some of the comments that he makes, like oh, their word isn't the only thing that they should go by. I just feel like Smeagol is trying to devalue what they have to say, especially since his beef with Regina, if that makes sense.
I'm so out of the loop.
Oh, geez. Okay, so I was briefly talking about the interview this week from Chris Hansen, and prior to the interview, the TMZ Smeagol was on talking shit. In reality, I just feel like he's butthurt with him constantly talking about how he doesn't feel Chris Hansen is effectively dealing with this, and has kind of been bashing him, especially with the whole Nicholas thing. I definitely feel like he's butthurt that nobody came to him for interviews. But then again, like myself, nobody wants to go to a nobody for that kind of stuff. Looking at some of the comments, and I will say this too, and I noticed that people like Craig, damn it, I broke my rule again. They want results, and they think that just because you have that they don't have the evidence this second, there's nothing to go by. It's like, look at Greg's behavior. Look at some of the stuff, and which, by the way, somebody by the name of Good Assists and Records has been apparently gathering some of the police calls to the residents, which I listened to a few, and oh, good Lord. Which we might listen to those for a little bit, if we're filling up to it. But going into the interview itself, I gotta say I was intrigued, because I want to briefly talk about this, and then we could talk about some of the other stuff. So, as I mentioned, I wish I had some notes and I freaking lost them. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Chris Hansen had again Stevie Wolf back on the show, and Jimmy Snow, or as he's called, Mr. Atheist. And as we know, I screwed up mixed the names. Stevie Wolf, he, in some sense, is kind of like a historian of Greg at this point, because he has followed his antics for some time. And Jimmy Snow, or Mr. Atheist, yes, my dogs ate my notes. I wish that were true. Actually, one at this point, because one of them one of them only lives with me, and that would be Bambi, who is sleeping on her bed at this particular moment. But yeah, Jimmy Snow deals with occult-like behavior, which, again, it's hey MJ, which I gotta say, it was intriguing to hear his insight on Greg's behavior. And the really cool thing is he was actually, and they were talking about Seseska to some extent, and he was kind of
briefly. I'd say it was rather briefly, but go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say when it comes to Seseska and his behavior, he actually used this really cool formula he had.
The bike method.
yeah, this that determined like that kind of pinpointed certain behaviors that Greg displayed that would resemble that of a cult-like behavior. And to some extent, he followed it. Like he follows some of the behaviors he discussed to a T. Trying to think of what else, and I was trying to like rewrite some of my notes, like what was discussed, but they discussed the cult-like behavior. There was a brief mention, and I feel like this was this might be the same person. Who knows? But for those who don't remember, Stevie did an interview with supposed. I'm using quotes right now. I can't. I'm using my my desktop, and I don't have my webcam set up for it yet. But I'm using like kind of doing the air quotes. Supposed classmate of Greg that did the interview with him. And Chris Hansen mentioned briefly that somebody contacted him who claimed to be a, I'm using quotes again, supposed classmate. So I'm kind of wondering if those people that Stevie and Chris mentioned were one and the same. But
it's hard to say without them coming out and outright saying it.
Yeah. Well, and it's difficult since those, and I understand why. I mean, they didn't want to give their identity, so it's hard to determine who actually is saying it. But that's only because they want to keep their own freaking I am script their word, their own identity a secret. Double O wrote, I keep trying to explain to people that even if Greg never invented Sissiska, he runs his household with the same tactics as a cult leader. Vam wrote, oh, he interviewed a classmate of Onision, right? I don't think he interviewed. I think he was in contact. Like somebody went out of their way to contact him about his behavior. And I will say that the stuff that Chris Hansen described the individual saying almost is similar to what was said from the classmate that Stevie Wolf interviewed. 007 wrote, Stevie Wolf interviewed high school classmate of Onision, and Onision did a reaction to it, which we all know how those usually go.
Sorry, I'm not being very talkative. I don't really know what to say.
Jeez. All right, Double O wrote, lots of weird people in California invent their own new age religion as long as they don't use all that pressure to confirm they don't count as dangerous cults. I can somewhat agree to that. I mean, there's a lot of crazy people in California. MJ wrote, she's on the phone right now. She'll be on soon. Cool. But all in all, I will say that the interview itself was really good. It was a really interesting, and in fact, funny story. I was so busy with work this week. I tried so much to watch it that instead of watching it, I converted the video into a MP3 player or MP3 file and listened to it while I was working. And listened to it.
Way to go about it.
Yeah, and I tried like listening to it multiple times, so that way I had an idea of what to say for this podcast. In fact, I listened to it before, like briefly listened to it before doing the podcast.
I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember a majority of the video
of the podcast or the interview.
Like,
Yeah,
I remember
it's
tidbits, but they're fuzzy.
No, it's understandable. I'm just kind of highlight just to some extent giving a brief bullet point of what was discussed. Onision seems to go back on his word a lot. True hypocrite at its finest. Yeah. What, did he go back to showing his face again for his videos?
Might have something to do that was talked about during the interview. Who knows? But I did find it rather funny that they brought up the program, though they didn't remember what the name of it was, that he used for his animations.
Apparently he did he just posted a couple more videos claiming them as proof. More than likely, one of the... Oh my gosh, is he mass uploading again?
Is he?
Yep, he fucking is. He's got 5 videos every couple of hours. A 21-minute video of him probably spouting bullshit. I'm looking at the thumbnails where I'm assuming he's releasing private conversations. And then one where the thumbnail in big bold letters, more proof. Then another one in bold letters, ask her. And then one of Chris Hansen, which I think that one's going to be like cut in, like kind of cut and edited to make it seem like Chris Hansen's at fault. Or in the wrong in some sense.
Jesus.
Yeah, Beagle Girl wrote, wait, it's all lies, not proof. He's full of bullshit. Beagle Girl wrote, I bet he talks about the same shit over and over again. That's basically his videos. Like when he tries to be informative, I myself and many others have mentioned this. All he does is repeat the same line over and over again for an extended period of time. Mostly because I think he's trying to, because it wasn't there that whole thing that the longer the video, the more well it does for the algorithm or some shit. I think there was that one rumor. So he's trying to just extend the video. It's just him bullshitting. That's basically his videos. 007 wrote, it's silly that all of Onision's proof is stuff Sarah said when she was still enamored with Onision and Kai. He then proceeds to write, it's like saying that Patty Hertz prays for the SLA cult when she was its captive is proof that the SLA never mistreated her. Yeah, that's...
I can't argue against that.
I mean, that's how... I mean, same goes for places like the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah. Let's see. Vam...
Wait, what did Vam write?
He was asking, some people think that guy might go to jail, but Onision won't. How do you feel about that? Honestly, if that happens, it's just further proof that
That's
he was just using Kai like some people have speculated.
yeah. I mean, at this point, I mean, at this point, Kai is an accessory to his antics and more likely a scapegoat to some extent. And I'm not defending her in any him, they. I'm not defending them in any way. At this point, they are just as fault as Greg is because they didn't do anything, and they just acknowledge they didn't do anything to stop him.
Well,
I think is what I'm trying to say.
That's just it. Until the time that
And at this point,
Jimmy Snow that Mr. Atheist had hypothesized in the interview comes, where we find out what all went on in the household to more extent than what we've learned from the victims' interviews.
Yeah.
All we can do is speculate.
Yeah.
On various things. We won't know the truth of the matter. Hell, we might never know the truth of the matter.
Yeah, actually, and I will say I like some of their final words is Chris Hansen asked, "How many victims do you think there are?" And yeah, and no, well, here's the crazy thing. Stevie Wolf said at this point we don't even know because we don't know what goes on in the house. And Jimmy Snow then added on with, yeah, we don't to an extent. I'm probably mixing words in some sense. He goes on to say that at this point, not counting, and it's like you were not even counting the people who've been victimized by the videos that he's made of him shaming women's bodies, girls' bodies for how they look, something that they unfortunately can't, they can't control. So, and like thinking about that goes into like the millions, billions even. For everyone who's watched his video, who's taken him seriously about his judgment of the female body, there is a lot of people who have been victimized by him. And now MJ's on.
Hola.
Hello.
No, I'm not. I'm not on yet. I've been found.
Oh, hey.
I forgot to put the thumbnail
complete.
on.
The train is here.
Huh?
I didn't actually hear it this time, Aiden.
That's because I got my headphones plugged in.
Oh, jeez.
He was talking about it's not a stream without the train going off in the background.
Oh, jeez.
You don't remember that, Rob?
Briefly.
It happens every podcast.
Oh, where a train goes by?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Also, Chi says hi.
Hello.
Aww. We missed her.
She misses the podcast.
Yeah, for those who don't know and who have never heard of Chi, she used to be part of our part of the podcast.
She said that she misses coming on, but she doesn't like Discord. It confuses her.
Understandable.
So, what'd I miss?
Well, we've talked briefly about the interview.
Hi, chat.
Trying to remember what else.
The interview with Chris Hansen and Mr. Atheist.
Considering to have a seat, Chris Hansen interview.
Hello, MCU.
Apparently, forgot what I was going to say.
Regarding the interview? I've seen the interview, so.
Well, something involving it, but I don't remember what. Kind of out of it.
It's all right. Me too.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh, I didn't even know you were gone.
Yeah, I had to walk away for a second, deal with something.
Okay. So I was just asking to be filled in on what you guys talked about so far.
Oh yeah, we were talking about the interview.
Okay.
Any thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on the interview?
I liked it. I liked Mr. Atheist. I'm also a fan of Stevie. I wish that they spend a little more time talking about the whole bite model.
Yes.
Yeah, that probably would have been cool.
Because, I mean, I wish that he had the time to explain it all, but, I mean, I can just go to his channel.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I will say he gave, with the bite model, he did give a brief, like, kind of try to give connections to Greg's behavior and that of, like, cult-like behavior.
Yeah. The interview didn't really interest me all that much, but it got me into Mr. Atheist. Me too. I agree. I subscribed to him right after that because I wanted to know more about it. I hadn't even heard of him before.
I think Magi has mentioned him once in conversation.
Are you sure it wasn't the Amazing Atheist?
Could have been. Not sure which.
Now he's calling himself TJ Kirk.
Mm-hmm. The Amazing Atheist goes by his name now. TJ Kirk.
007 wrote, what especially struck me is that Greg monitoring all of Shiloh's electronic communications falls under information control in the bite model.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's.
I've been watching. I don't know if you guys like in the chat or those in the call here. I've watched the show called Obsession Dark Desires. It's about like stalking, and a lot of like the episodes that are on there are very akin to what 007 was describing regarding information control. One of them was like scary because it was somebody that they friended on Facebook, and they had a bunch of mutual friends, so they felt safe. But little do they know that he spent a lot of time in prison because he killed somebody when he was 17.
Yeah.
And then he just started getting more progressively violent, and so she broke up with him, and he like would break into her house and take pictures of her when she was sleeping and saying like, I can come for you anytime. And he eventually got to the point where he actually did try to kill her. And before that, because he'd be like, let me see your phone. You know, who are you talking to? Is that your new boyfriend? Like,
No,
damn. And then I saw somebody leave a comment on one of the videos because I got it on YouTube. And the comment really disturbed me because it was just all about victim blaming, saying, oh, well, she should have seen the red flags. I think I have a screenshot of the comment because it actually intrigued me that I wanted to respond, but where the hell did I put it?
Now, as far as that kind of like statement goes, it's just that's wrong, because when you're as enamored, or just when you are so into something, you can't see the faults of it.
Yeah.
You can't see a lot of the potential red flags that could be there, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find there. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Got it. I'm echoing back. All right. Yeah, I'm still echoing. Is it just me?
That's odd.
Okay. All right, found it. So This person says, "This one really made me mad." The episode. "Another uneducated, desperate woman put her child and her entire family in danger of losing their lives just because she felt like she needed a man. The first red flag she should have seen was his sending her a friend request. It doesn't matter how many mutual friends they had. She didn't even bother to ask any one of those people about this guy. Every mistake she made after that kept getting larger and larger. The fact that she was hiding this guy's history from her family should have told her something right there. Dumb and desperate, what a combo. I bet she would accept another man's friend request if one was sent. Learn to be happy with yourself first. You'll make better decisions that way."
No, wow.
I took a screenshot of it and then I started typing up what I wanted to say in response. Even then I was like, you know what, this is not worth my time. But apparently I made it worth my time again to talk about it on here. It's just like, I can see like, well, I mean, it relates to what we're talking about though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still watching the rest of that season, so I've got a few more episodes to go. But that show, I love that show. Creeps me out, but I like it. Do you guys talk about the laptop?
Oh, not
No,
yet. Not yet.
Not yet. So you want to lead on that one?
So it's chat. You may need to help me out in case because I haven't looked on Twitter in like the past like day or so about this, but apparently Sarah tweeted asking for money for a new laptop because she wants to go to school. People were giving her shit for that, thinking that that was a bad look for her, that it could be perceived as that, you know, all of this going on right now was so she could financially benefit, even though I don't see it that way at all. I mean, she gave her fucking laptop to the FBI.
Yeah, exactly.
I commend her for wanting to get an education. And plus, as commentary channels, we make money off of talking about them. I don't get how that's an issue for Sarah to be like, hey, can you help me out? I want to pursue an education. I want to get a laptop. And she tweeted something. She's like, I'm not going to say sorry for, asking for one time for help. Also, Greg, he made money off of describing my rape in graphic detail. So fuck me if I'm going to be asking for help for a laptop so I can get an education.
Yeah.
But that's as far as I know regarding the laptop issue. But if I am missing something, please let me know. And then I'm still a little unfamiliar with the whole the doxing thing with Shiloh. All I know is that she had tweeted to have people go report Nicholas DeOrio, and she added the hashtag deplatform predators.
Oh no. Oh geez.
But I don't know if I should speak any further on that, just because I really don't
know the situation.
Yeah, I haven't been updated or haven't updated myself on that, so I don't want to misrepresent anything.
Well, I know. Briefly, if you guys watched till the end, Chris Hansen was also talking about Nicholas, who apparently made a Facebook channel or a Facebook page with his image.
That's not Nicholas.
That's not Nick?
No. Nicholas DeOrio is from associated with Tommy C.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might be. I'm talking about. I'm thinking about the.
You're talking about Vincent.
Vincent, yeah. Okay, I got the two mixed.
And honestly, I'm not sure if he made the page or if he took over the original. I'm not sure which.
As Chris described it, he made a
depends.
separate page with Chris's image and was saying some very one inappropriate and very hateful things apparently. And Chris told people to.
Well, he
help.
was saying shit like, yeah, like help Greg's family. I'm ending the investigation with him. Any money that I'm going to donate is going to go to him and his family, all this other shit.
Are you serious? That's what he was saying?
Yeah, as Chris.
Uh-huh.
What the
It was
fuck?
mentioned briefly towards the end. Like after he finished the interview before ending the video itself. He did end up doing like a call to arms.
Yeah.
Concerning getting that page removed.
Yeah.
And people were giving him shit for it. I believe it was Josh Pescator that like freaked out over that, like, that's doxing. Like how dare you kind of thing. But that's not doxing.
I was just about to ask, how is that doxing?
What Chris did?
No, like, oh yeah, what Chris did.
That's not.
Chris was asking people to go and report the Facebook page that's impersonating him.
Yeah.
And, committing libel.
Yeah.
So that's not
falsifying image and using somebody's name and image for something that is discrediting his own work.
Mm-hmm.
Nick DeOrio is known to insert himself in drama he doesn't need to be involved in. I really don't know who that is. I mean, no shade towards them. I've heard of the name. I just never seen his content.
I feel like the name sounds familiar.
It does.
I'm just familiar with like him, his association with Tommy C. And no, Bam, I have not heard about the recent passing. But you got to be careful with the whole hashtag deplatform predators when doing a call to action, though.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that just makes you look bad. And I
guess it's be very wary when it comes to it, because there's certain people like in the past who at this point it's like a hate storm of towards people that don't deserve it. Just like what happened with the Vic Mignogna situation. The voice actor who played characters like Broly, Edward Elric, and various other characters from anime, and the people who claimed him to be a predator who was doing all these things turned out not to be true.
Well, this is a little bit different than that in this case, because there was no, as far as I'm aware, there was no prior assumption or allegations that he was a predator. It was just when she said, "Hey, go report this guy," and then added the hashtag deplatform predators, that kind of makes it seem like that they are saying that they are a predator.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Vic Mignogna had, fake allegations towards him, or I should say alleged, but allegations towards him like prior, but this is a little bit different than like current instance with Nicholas.
I agree. I agree with Beagle. Twitter is trash.
I don't think Vic ever did anything. It's just hateful people being dumb. And then Kenny was an artist and a 3-time heart surgery survivor, died of cancer, broke my heart.
Yikes.
Oh. Nicholas DeOrio has been Tommy C's co-host. They both mostly focus on anti-SJW content. Okay. Yeah, I'm subscribed to Tommy C, but I don't really watch any of his videos. I've watched a couple, but most of the time I'm usually distracted and end up like finding something else to watch or do. No, and again, that's no shade. I fucking hate that we have to like almost feel it's like an instinct now to like want to protect ourselves. Like, by the way, I don't mean this towards this person.
Really, Sage?
Like, you idiot.
That's the second one.
Did you click on a landmine?
Yes, I did. I didn't
How
even
many
see the
times have we
name.
told you don't do that? Sage knows that you're awful and you do it. But this is what makes things so interesting.
Oh gosh.
I'm
I'm not even going
Not
to
gonna
describe. I'm not going to give you that satisfaction.
I
Okay.
kind of want to take the video after it's done, private this one, and re-upload it after editing in that loud as hell sound effect from whenever you lose at Minesweeper.
Oh jeez. Oh. By the way, since for briefly, because this actually with the topic of Quinny, it kind of reminded me of something. I'm calling BS on it, but I saw a video on from Scarce and I had to look it up myself. Apparently, J Station is saying he is for the time being quitting YouTube.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that.
Narcissists don't. Okay.
Don't quit.
Don't quit. They won't. They can't.
They need the validation.
They will say that they will, but they know that's gonna garner attention.
Yeah. It's just a pity act. He's trying to gain sympathy. It's like the whole thing where he was trying to rub. More than likely, it seems like he's about to cry. I'm like, dude, you rubbed your freaking eyes with onions before you did this video.
He is demonetized, though.
Yeah, they did demonetize him, which I'm gonna sound really terrible for saying this, but good riddance.
Oh, just because he's demonetized doesn't mean that, like,
He'll find other
that
ways to
behavior-
make money.
High price. Guys, bruh. Oh my god, guys. But yeah, when it comes to a pathological narcissist, don't ever believe when they say that they're going to quit something. They're not. Or don't ever believe that they are doing something out of the kindness of their own heart.
Exactly.
They're not. Like, that's what
Look,
bothers me about Greg is that, like, he tries to act like he helped Kai come to, like, knowing themselves and their true identity.
Oh, that actually brings up something else.
But
the really interesting thing that Mr. Sorry, I have to say that I wanted to say this because you bring up something really interesting.
Let's see if it's the same thing that I was going to bring up. But go ahead.
With Mr. Atheist, what he said.
Go on.
And that when it comes to Kai's transition, like he doesn't devalue Kai's transition, but he goes on to say that he doesn't think that it was under her own decision. That Kai is whatever Greg wants them to be.
That was exactly what I was going to say. I was also going to add on to the fact that if you recall back in 2015, when Kai had come out and said they were bisexual, and how Greg really wanted them to explore that. Like, that wasn't that wasn't the sign of him being a supportive husband. That was just him, like, trying to ensure that he will, basically hedging his bets. So, like, the less likely that he would be alone at the end of the day. Because a lot of narcissists fear loneliness. They don't want to be alone. That's why they isolate people.
Yeah. Because
they know that the chances of them leaving is small because they don't know where else to go. So still like that, guys, bro.
I'm gonna say this with MCU's comment again. I'm not gonna pity Kai when let's say when things don't go their way and they end up suffering the punishments of the law in terms of their actions. I will say that they were manipulated at a very young age.
Beagle Girl says he's known for defeminization, so I doubt Kai's genuine. Look at what he did to Shiloh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I mean, hell, that was even brought up in the interview.
No, Sage, I'm not looking at it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame
Rob,
on me.
you've been fooled more than twice.
Fool me 100 times, I'm the dumbass. I'm still the dumbass for falling for it.
Yep. Let's see here. Greg, horrible father, like Chris Hansen as Stevie. What does Greg do all day? He sits online all day. Sad. He doesn't give a damn buzz. 2 children.
Exactly.
I've fooled you like 5 times, Sage says.
I think it's more.
Yeah.
And I will admit to that.
Good.
Bob been called out. Yeah. At least when it comes to Sage, mess with us.
You're such a troll. Oh, you don't know the half of it.
Yeah.
Hate when people don't put their kids first. Yeah. He likes the act of making kids. He just doesn't want to take the responsibility of raising them.
I mean, remember, he did say that he feels that the only purpose of a woman is for reproduction.
Yeah.
Notice how he always, when he refers to, like in his books and even in some of his videos, he refers to other people as humans.
Yeah, he thinks he's above.
Mm-hmm.
When he's not.
Oh yeah, I bought Legos the other day. I still have to assemble them.
Oh, nice.
I bought, let's see here. Mr. Freeze's Bat Cycle Battle.
Huh.
I saw it at Walgreens, and so I was like, because I usually will pick up like a random like figure from there whenever I had to pick up my prescriptions, and this time I just decided to buy Legos because I pretty much got a shit ton of collectibles all over the place in here.
You're making me want to play some Lego Batman now.
I'm gonna probably end up playing Telltale Batman again.
Oh, nice.
For my thesis. So if you want to join me on that, or because we still haven't yet, we've only done the first 2 episodes for the first game, Batman the Telltale series.
We've only done the first. I don't
We've
even.
done-
Actually, I don't think
we did 2.
finished the
We
first one.
No, we did 2 of them.
Mm-mm.
Yes, we did.
Why don't I remember that?
Where you at the very end, you had to determine who to save, either Selena or Harvey.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Interesting.
Whenever you say that, it just sounds so like, interesting.
Like, I don't remember any of that.
Okay, well, when we get to playing it again, I'll refresh your memory. I'm also making a highlight clip too of you.
Oh, gosh. At least it's not me this time.
Yep.
Wait, it is me?
No. Well, you're in it, but it's not about you.
Oh, jeez.
It's about the lovely little fun fact that we learned about Aiden last week.
God
Oh, gosh.
Stay tuned to find out what that is.
So, no, I didn't have room for in the title. So, what was this whole thing about Jake Paul? Did you
Oh,
mention on Discord?
okay.
We got a little bit of time.
Yeah. So Jake Paul made this. He
Oh,
made
actually,
this website with a course.
if I may,
Okay.
how did he fuck up this time?
I'm getting there. Let's see here. I took screenshots of this. Where is it? Okay. So he made this website called financialfreedommovement.com.
Oh, no. No. Jake Paul talking about financial? No. No.
And basically, he shits on the current educational system here in the US and says that people should take his course instead. And I have screenshots.
Yeah, take the course
Yeah.
take the course from the guy that almost burnt. He got kicked out of his house because he was burning shit in the front yard?
So on his website, frequently asked questions. Does this relate to me if I'm young? The answer, yes, because the sooner you learn this and implement this in your life, the more you will benefit. I wish I knew all of this when I was even younger. Who knows where I'd be in my career? And then, how long do I have access to the membership? As long as you continue to invest in the monthly membership, you have access. Similar to Netflix or Hulu, as long as you keep paying the super low monthly, you have access to everything.
Let me guess. It's like $10,000 just to apply.
No. What if I don't have $20 to join? That's all the more reason you should find a way to access this information. Have your parents invest for you by sharing with them the, quote, letter to parents at the bottom of this page. And I have a letter to parents. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. Usually that means you want them to be happy, healthy, and not have to worry about financial stress as they grow up into an adult. After all, most people's lives are controlled and limited by their finances or lack thereof. I kind of want to talk like a surfer dude for this. We're just like a bogan.
Totally radical, man. This isn't a scam at all, man.
Bruh.
Body is a temple.
Body is a wonderland.
This isn't a scam at all.
Honestly,
there's more. There's more.
Oh,
the whole
God.
thing, just honestly, it calls to mind that.
I am gonna try to add
that one character's website in Simulacra 2.
Yeah. Oh, Rex Keegan.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, Rob. What?
I was gonna say I'm gonna try to squeeze in Jake Paul scam in the title.
Okay, so this is part one of the two things that Bam's got it. Well, he said he said that basically saying that you're the one that causes your own anxiety.
While true to an extent, that it's also something that sometimes can't be helped, regardless of what you do.
Where have we heard that before? Oh wait, that's right, from Greg.
Hold on. I want to make sure I'm not butchering what he said. So it's since been deleted, but where did he say?
Okay, I got it in there.
Okay. Where? Images. Remember, anxiety is created by you. Sometimes you got to let life play out and remind yourself to be happy that the answers will come.
Definitely.
Chill your mind out, go for a walk, talk to a friend. Which in itself is not that bad, but it's
the phrasing of it.
Yeah. Like, I have really, really bad anxiety, and I'm still planning on making a video on it, but spoiler alert, I haven't because I'm anxious. And and
sometimes dealing with anxiety isn't that simple.
You can be the most optimistic person, and sometimes anxiety or depression will rear its ugly head.
Some people take to the more tough love approach. Other people don't ever say just stop being anxious.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to talk to people as a collective, and as I said, not everybody. We're not a hive mind. You can't just assume that everybody has the same motives and the same, goals. That's not how life works. It's everybody is their own individual. Everybody deals with something differently.
Right. Like, if you asked me 6 months ago if I'd ever be a YouTuber, I would say no. And I still am finding it weird to do, or to kind of
the title.
Fixing the title.
You have Jack Paul.
Shit.
I got it.
Okay.
I'll fix it.
But anxiety is it's the irrational worry or fear of something. But I use YouTube and teaching all to kind of help me combat it. Because the best method, would probably be CBT and mixed with medication. But it's just one of the hardest things is for somebody who's anxious is to kind of expose themselves to that anxiety. I have really bad social anxiety, believe it or not. And it's so ironic because I'm a former social worker sociologist who does YouTube and has really bad social anxiety.
Yeah. Same here.
Holy shit. The devil is here.
The devil is here. Hi, Satan.
By the way, did you highlight that joke that we did in the last podcast?
No. Wait.
Do it.
Okay.
The other one, the one where we said, "Well, I guess this is the only the only moment where we can actually appreciate Satan."
Yeah. I'll have to find it. I think it's actually in one of the videos I clipped, or one of the sections I clipped. But so here's the letter of parents, by the way.
To quote myself from that last podcast, I'm going to hell.
MJ, real quick, concerning clips. When are you gonna upload the recording, that the test recording of us trying before we start?
Oh shit! Yeah, I almost forgot about that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry, but that was funny.
Yeah, I have it.
Just be prepared for it to take forever for the freaking video to be uploaded, since they are now shutting off the dashboard.
They're shutting down the dashboard?
They're doing it. I got this notification where they're doing it soon. They're really pushing the.
Oh, they're getting rid of the classic.
I hate the new studio. I think a lot of people, and I hate that they are going like, "Oh, we have like a bunch of other people that are using it." It's like so much. It's like, so what? It's fucking sucks. And I'm sure a lot of people could protest to this.
I mean, I didn't like it at first. The newer one.
It's too slow.
As of right now, the only thing I don't care about it is checking the copyright claims.
I have it set up now to where you don't, or wait. I'm talking about something else probably. Where like for every video, I had to check like, no, it's not made for kids. We can just blanket screen that. Mm-hmm. And so it automatically selects it for every single video. Because otherwise it's typically me that goes in and manually does it.
Oh, you're going to have to show me how to do that, because I would.
Yeah, it's easy. I'll show you. Also, I got rid of the, like the review, like how chat, we have to approve it. I figured out how to fix that, which I did. So I'm sure you haven't really seen.
I've seen it a couple times.
Okay. Well, it shouldn't do that unless it shouldn't be so sensitive to like flagging comments like it used to.
I'm not going to answer that, Sage. I'll let you figure it out.
But here's the rest of the letter to parents real quick. Okay. So back to Jack Paul.
Yeah. Can I just call him Jackass Paul?
No. By the way, I walked into the stream I saw TMZ Smeagol mention why.
I like that name for him. We're gonna just call him that from now on.
I am not calling him that.
we call Greg Grooming Onion. We are definitely calling him that. I have the thumbnail for it.
Let me make this clear. You can call him that. I'm not gonna say a damn thing.
I'm the only one that talks about him anyways. Like
this isn't a fight, Rob. This isn't a fight. I'm fucking with you.
I know.
And I am being serious, but it's in a laughing tone. Might as well call myself out right here. All right. So let's see here.
Next thing you know, we get a video about him. What the fuck is this shit? Where are you calling me?
Stop. Jesus.
Their immediate reaction is, how do you know we're calling you now?
Moving on.
Fight to the death. No.
There's going to be some punches coming soon.
Okay.
Boxing match. Ding, ding, ding. Let's see here. MJ, do you think any of your school kids watch on YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a couple times.
Yeah. Some of my students are subscribed. All right. Getting back to this because it keeps going back. No.
I was gonna say, since we were joking about fighting, I just started playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. But continue.
Let's see here. Okay. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. Usually that means you want them to be happy, healthy, and not have to worry about financial stress as they grow up into an adult. After all, most people's lives are controlled and limited by their finances or lack thereof, which is most likely why you've saved up for many years to send your kid to college. With the hope that college will provide them with an education and degree that leads to a secure job with a decent paycheck and benefits. That's admirable, and you should be proud that you want that for your child. Now let's talk about how things have changed since you were in college.
Wait. Can I just say, isn't this didn't this guy start off by getting money from his mommy and daddy?
Don't know.
No idea.
Pretty sure that was the case. And then, but continue. I just wanted to make that remark.
Now let's talk about things that changed since you were in college. Most college kids these days graduate with an outdated degree in education that's no longer relevant in the current economic workforce. With technology advancements accelerating at 1,000 times the speed they have in the past 100 years, when the formal education system was created for the Industrial Revolution, accounted for the new world we live in today. Good God, commas, please. All right. Yet the system never really changed. As a result, most college graduates nowadays are jobless, with over 50% of millennials moving back with their parents to save up money in order to move out someday, while they search for companies hiring, but only to realize they need another new degree in education that is relevant in the fast-changing landscape of the jobs available that pay well. And it's only getting worse. Once robotics, AI, and other technology advancements disrupt the workforce even more, there'll be even fewer jobs available for your child. That is why it is critical as a parent that you break away from only having your child's future rest on your old morals of doing things. And when you can even see the landscape of the world is changing. Give your child the actual education they need to achieve financial freedom from people who are making money online from anywhere in the world by learning valuable skill sets the current global economy needs, and pays big money for people who have all these skill sets, which are taught inside the Financial Freedom Movement membership training program. If you're already paying for Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime, then this is a no-brainer. Those things aren't helping your child or the future, are they? Whereas only for $19.99 per month, your child has access to world-renowned experts who have taught and impacted over 1 million students around the globe. This is your chance to show you are truly committed as a parent to giving your child access to the best resources and education they can have to live a great life on their terms. So you can have peace of mind knowing that they'll be happy, healthy, and financially secure as they continue to grow into a valuable, self-sufficient adult in the new economy. You're an amazing parent for reading this and giving your child this gift and opportunity. The end. I want to die. My throat hurts too.
That sounds like something you read from one of Greg's books.
Like one of those.
Also, who's
one of the parts of that just screams like he is stuck in the late 80s, early 90s, to where people were afraid of robotics taking over jobs.
Pay $19.99 a month and you can avoid being terminated by Skynet.
Oh, good Lord.
Sage asks if Rob will go and see the Sonic film.
I already did.
Yeah, what'd you think?
You know, I might do a spoiler. Since you did a review, I might do a spoiler discussion.
Cool. But don't spoil it now because Aiden hasn't seen it.
I'm not. Actually, I haven't uploaded any videos during the weekend, but I got some videos lined up for movie reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be a little bit before I do my spoiler discussion.
Well, if you want to watch my video on it to see if any of your opinions line up, like you can include that if you want.
I will.
Okay.
I'll probably say, hey, MJ did a review. Links in the description, and talk about see if my opinions are the same.
Okay. Beagle Girl, what crazy article is that? That's Jake Paul's website for the financialfreedommovement.com, I think. Hold on.
Which is more likely complete another scam.
It is. Okay. I got you guys.
I wouldn't trust this guy with financial help.
And then, hold on. If wait. see if I can share my screen.
He would be the last guy I would go to for financial help.
Actually, not probably should be. Oh, crap. Give me just a second.
While that is true, vegan, it's also still extremely tough to become financially stable with majors in technology. It's hard to be financially stable with just about any job these days.
Share my screen.
Okay.
This is his website.
Yeah, but people can do that already. Like, go into that sort of work on their own terms if they wanted to, without having to pay him.
They say we're entitled and lazy. They tell us to go to college, get a job, retire at 65. How's that working out for us? There's over $1 trillion in student loan debt, and people with outdated education who can't even get a job for the student loans they took out now haunt them for life. I do agree with that, but I don't think this is the way of going about it. Like, our education system is not perfect by any means.
And if I may, you'll probably the amount of what you get out depends on how much work you put in. Usually, I mean, in my case. In case people think that I make a lot of my money off of YouTube, no. I don't. Yeah, I barely make any money off YouTube. I actually have a really good job that I do as my main source of income. Sure, we make money off some of our videos, but that's not our main focus.
Jake Paul's personal experience, rituals, and secret formula on how he's achieved massive success at a young age, so you can follow in his footsteps to achieve your goals faster and easier than ever before. I'm going to go ahead and click help.
Yeah. In case people are wondering, the reason why Jake Paul got popular is it was a complete and utter fluke. Kind of like how I'm a Banana got Greg to become popular. Like, this is just my honest opinion. The only reason he became popular is because... Oh, crap. What was that website called?
You can unshare.
Crap. What was the app called?
What?
It's been so long. What? They start off on, oh my gosh, Vine. You had a guy, him and his brother, acting like complete and utter jackasses on video for 10-second clips. And then they moved to YouTube. And then they did more bullshit where they acted like complete and utter jackasses. And that made him even more popular. Then they made bullshit music that made them even more popular.
I guess Logan Paul is kind of taking the David Dobrik approach for vlogs now, but still calling David Dobrik a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He was an actor in Disney. That's how I discovered him, says Lady Blute. Let's see here. Jake Paul was a crybaby today because he was upset that Zayn from One Direction didn't want to be around him and think he was a true superstar. Birds of Prey didn't fail because it was woke. It failed because of bad marketing, and people say that it failed because it was woke. Not true. I haven't seen Birds of Prey yet.
Yeah.
I've heard it was all right. It's better than Suicide Squad. Good God. I did not like Suicide Squad.
I have not seen that Birds of Prey yet. And it sucks that people are trying to pull the same tactic that they did for the Ghostbusters movie of like why it's not doing so like as good as some of the other films.
I don't know. I'll keep my opinions reserved until I've actually seen the movie.
Yeah.
I think that's the best route to go. It's the best course of action to take at the moment.
The Sonic movie was good though.
Yeah, I still have the song stuck in my head from the bar
by
scene.
The way, so yeah, they did use the song from Sonic Mania.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, at the very beginning where he does his monologue about
Don't.
Okay,
Please don't.
I'm shutting up. Shutting up. That's my only spoiler.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Alrighty. So, yeah, we had a lot to talk about with this podcast.
What's Project Melody?
Oh yeah, before we end it, I gotta talk about that briefly. So I did a video, and you guys can watch some of the Quarterings videos on us too. So Project Melody is someone who is on, and this is weird. And I mentioned that this was weird that I talked about this because usually I'm against this sort of thing, especially with it being on YouTube with people like Zoe Berger. Is a person on Chatterbait who doesn't expose her body and uses her body as a way to make money. They used VR chat or something in that regard to create content and do streams. And women on that website and various other websites are getting extremely pissed because they're being outranked by an anime character. And websites like The Wire are making bogus articles trying to denounce the work that this individual had put in. It's just, again, I felt weird talking about this, and like, because to some extent I had to applaud the person's initiative. Like, instead of showing her identity, and I thought it was funny. Like, you have some of these people going off saying, "Oh, I've been doing this years. I've had to put so much harm to my body for doing this sort of work." And it's like, but that's your choice. That was your choice to go into this line of work, and it was their choice to do to do something different than everybody else. Am I wrong on that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah. Are you saying that they should have expected that if they go into that line of work?
I get. Well,
I'm not trying to cause a cough.
I'm gonna sound very. In either way, I'm gonna sound very terrible. But with people complaining about somebody doing something different and then trying to make the excuse, the reason that they should be up on top of being viewed is that they've put so many years into the job and they've done so much work on themselves and have put so much harm on their body for the work that they do. It's like, that is a piss poor excuse, because in a sense, like, this is just my opinion, is you guys have made the choice to put your identity out there using your bodies for that line of work. Again, because I know I'm going to sound terrible to some people saying this, but you have an individual who did something different. So why is that bad?
Because it's more competition and they're starting to lose the competition. That's where the problem lies. It is a highly competitive market.
And that's what I pointed out too, is it's a competition.
Here, I'm gonna.
Why is it bad that somebody else did something different than you and it's working?
I just posted a link in the chat for the Wired article that writes about this, just so people have more context. Because I'm reading it as we're talking about this.
Yeah, Project Melody.
This kind of
Is it
reminds
the Wired article?
Yeah. Do fans of cartoon porn stars hate real women?
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find some other ones here.
Well, some people do, like, they prefer 2D to 3D, to use the terminology. It's not right to generalize.
Yeah.
Some people have preferences.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And I will say, like, since you mentioned preferences, those people should be shamed.
These are not, well, they kind of are landmine links, but
Wait, I'm not.
I'm telling you ahead of time what they are. This is a Reddit for that article, or talking about that article that I just linked.
Oh, the one I was just looking at.
I wanted to be fair and get different sides.
So that's Project Melody, huh?
It reminds me of like the whole thing with like Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
I guess the part of the
That's-
design for the character was that of the Major from Ghost in the Shell.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Kusanagi is a pretty good idea to like base looks on. But the thing is, like, this incident is reminding me heavily of the controversy that was going on concerning how popular Hatsune Miku and other Vocaloid symbols became in the music industry.
Where it's like it's not a real person. And
Yeah. And that it shouldn't be considered real music and so on and so forth.
Then anything with a synthesizer should not be, any music made with a synthesizer should not be considered real music.
I mean, that's like saying it would be more valid to say that's like in my opinion, that like those that use that heavily use auto-tune in their songs aren't artists.
Or to some extent, because I've heard this argument, and like I said, I can see the appeal. I'm not a big fan of it. For those who don't know, I'm not a big fan of rap usually. And some people made the argument that it's not real music because, for the most part, the people rapping aren't really singing. They're just talking really fast. Mm-hmm. And sometimes to the fact that you can't understand what the hell they're saying.
Mumble rap.
Yeah. And to some extent, like they've shown me examples, and I can see that. Again, I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I can understand the appeal.
Yeah. I mean, like, if memory serves, Vocaloid actually started through Autotune, if not a similar program. I guess easily be wrong on that.
If we're talking about
everybody uses Autotune.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, so does that mean we have to, like, oh, what's the actress's name? Who played Hermione? Are we to assume that the music that she took part in for Beauty and the Beast is not real music because it was auto-tuned? What was that?
Emma Watson.
Yeah, Emma Watson.
See, like, auto-tune has given, okay, I'm a music snob, but auto-tune has been given such a bad rep, and it shouldn't. Every artist uses it to some degree, whether it be like straight up auto-tuning, like you would hear with like T-Pain and like what, Lil Wayne, not Lil Wayne, fuck, can't remember. But like to that extreme where it's like very obvious that it's using to shift the voice, or it's just, a little bit of like pitch correction. Yeah. Everyone uses it, but it gets such a bad rep. But most of the time, most people don't hear it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like blatant, like
very obvious.
Right. But it's just a way of mixing and mastering and polishing up a piece. Also, just because like rap doesn't have like notes, it is rhythm and they do have a beat. So it is still considered music. I would argue that it's not singing per se. But I would definitely not say that it's not music.
Yeah.
Lady Blue is right concerning like how sound engineers should view it, or how sound engineers can view it.
Yeah.
If a sound engineer has to mix the voice, melody software and autotune is an excellent way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
My cousin is a audio engineer for Avenged Sevenfold. And he used to work with Marilyn Manson and Slipknot, but yeah, they all use it.
Mm-hmm. Like some of the music genres, I am actually like somewhat into. I wouldn't have given the time of day growing up. It was because I ended up hearing a song of that genre that spoke to me in some way, shape, or form, whether it be through the music, lyrics, what have you. You know?
Yeah.
Do you like Johnny Cash's version of Hurt? I actually, well, I like both. I like both versions.
Cover.
I like Johnny Cash's a little bit better, but I like Trent Reznor's version just because of the very end where it has that silence. Like Johnny Cash took the lyrics and changed it up just a tiny bit, but it changed the meaning of the song. But even Trent Reznor himself said that he liked Johnny Cash's version better.
Hell, I mean, like, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Pink almost never used autotune, only for effects, certain parts on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The point being is that autotune is not, like, it gets a bad rep just because some people consider that to be lazy, or like it's giving people, and I'm depending on when you would ask me, I would think that too, about like how basically people who use it don't have talent, but I take that back. Like, they are better programmers. There are some people that are better programmers than they are singers, but
I mean, like, the only downside to autotune being used as often as it is in certain songs, yeah, like in the case of Friday, thank you, Sage. In the cover of Friday, I should be more specific on that. It makes it to where it becomes kind of a crutch. It makes it to where the artist or singer doesn't really work on their vocals to where they don't need to use autotune so much. That is the only problem I have with it. Other than that, it's an excellent program.
Rumi did a video of like quizzing his friends on how, if like guessing if they can detect autotune.
Thank you, Hydroid.
Thank you, Hydroids.
Thank you.
What T-Pain uses is
vocoding.
I believe is the program Vocaloids use. I don't remember what program they use.
Isn't Vocaloid the program? Yeah.
Okay.
Vocaloid is the software.
Okay.
Rob, you sound like you want to end.
Yeah, in a second.
Okay.
I'm just listening to what's going on and look in the comments. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit? Oh.
I was reading a text from work and stuff. But yeah, it's I guess if I can give final words about music, it's like when it comes to music, to each his own. I mean, everybody has their own preferences to music, just like in any other thing. People have the right to like whatever they like, and we shouldn't, to an extent. And this kind of follows up with what we were talking about with Project Melody. Is again, people have a right to like whatever they like. We shouldn't be shaming people for liking something different than what we like for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, I forgot about Freaknik. Freaknik the musical by T-Pain. It was on Adult Swim.
Oh, right. All right. I think I'm gonna end it.
On that note, fuck you, MJ.
Sorry. Oh man, yeah, I suck.
That's not what I said.
I know.
But thank you for saying it for me. I'm just kidding.
All right. So I will say this has been a really good stream. We basically covered a lot of the stuff that we were talking about. There was one topic that I don't think we can address at this time because we don't know much about it. and I don't think I know much about it.
Oh,
Yeah, that one.
I'll save it for a video.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
So thank you guys for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys show up after the video or this podcast becomes a video after it's live, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. With that being said, follow us on if you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description. Want to follow Aiden, MJ, and Magi on gaming streams, follow them on Twitch and YouTube. Want to follow some of our other content, please feel free to do so. We premiere some of our videos. My content in particular is premiered usually between midnight to noon. Follow us on our podcast, which is usually around Sundays on 6 p.m. Pacific time. With that being said, this is Rob, Aiden, and MJ signing off. Have a good one and take care. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.